Let's get started with one of the most fundamental concepts, philosophies, something you need to recalibrate your head about, your mind about. And it's this idea that you have to choose greatness. You have to choose an extraordinary life. You have to choose to have something better than everyone else. Well, everyone thinks about a better life. Everybody wishes for a better life. Very few people choose to have that. And this is evident by the stats of where most people end up at the end of their life. See, most people go through life living paycheck to paycheck, barely having more than a few $1,000s in their bank account. And most people get to retirement not having enough money to survive. In fact, 90% of people are barely living, are not able to live on their own without some sort of assistance from the government, assistance from family, assistance from wherever else that they may get it from. So 90% of people who live paycheck to paycheck all their lives end up at retirement living basically broke. Of those 10%, 9% of that roughly are people who are somewhat comfortable in retirement, but only 1% are truly financially free. Talk about health and weight. And weight, most people, I think it's 73% of Americans are overweight. 35 or 38% now, I think it is, are obese. That's what the average person is getting. You have to choose different. If you want to be healthy and fit, you have to choose to be healthy and fit. If you want an extraordinary life, you have to choose an extraordinary life. If you want an amazing life, if you want to be amazing, be extraordinary, you have to choose to be extraordinary. If not, you're going to get what everybody else gets. Or if you do what everybody else does, you'll get the result that everybody else gets. So do you want what the average person gets, to be overweight and living paycheck to paycheck, struggling with their time, struggling day to day, or do you want something better? If you want something better, and I'm sure that's why you're in this course, then you have to choose that. Maybe you have a pretty good life, because most people who are taking this course have a good life and want more, or they're trying to get to that level. But if you have a good life already, you have to choose to have an even better life. It's a conscious choice to be better. It's a conscious choice for extraordinary. So that's where we have to start, is this idea about what you want. And then once you choose that, once you choose to be different, once you choose to be extraordinary, once you choose for more, now you have to get clarity on what it is. So that's one of the first key fundamental rules of clarity. What do you want out of life? What do you want? Have you sat and thought about that at all? What do you want? Why don't you grab a piece of paper and pen if you don't have one? We're going to go through a little bit of an exercise here. In fact, we're going to keep building on this through some exercises. So play along. You got into this program because you want a different result. If you want the same result as everybody else, keep doing what you've been doing. Keep doing what everybody else does. But if you want a different result, get a piece of paper, get a pen, and start writing this down. Tap it in your laptop, tap it into your phone, whatever you want. But you have to play full out if you want a different result. So there's some house rules right there. Play full out. So go get that pen and paper and start writing out what you want. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Is this around time management? Is this around health, fitness, relationships? It doesn't much matter right now. What is it that you want? Pick that goal. Write a bunch of things down. What are the things that you want? In your financial life, what do you want to see happen in your financial life? Do you want to double your income, triple your income, quadruple your income? Do you want to be financially free? What does financially free even mean? Have you even defined that? See, that's it. You got to have clarity. If you want to be financially free, now you have to define that. If you want to be healthy and fit, how do you define that? If you want more money in the bank, what does that mean? You put another dollar in the bank, you have more money in the bank. What does it actually mean to have more money in the bank? What does it mean to have a great relationship? So while I'm talking, go ahead and write these things down. Listen and write at the same time. You want a great relationship. What does that mean? Does that mean a loving relationship where you spend quality time together, where you hold hands, where you go on trips together? What does that mean? You want to be a great parent. What does that mean? What does a great parent mean? You got to define this stuff. So write down the ideas now. This isn't a perfection process right now. This is just for gathering ideas, and we're going to keep refining it, and we're going to go through a process here. This is what's going to recalibrate your mind. But the main concept here, the first concept, is you've got to choose greatness. You got to choose to be extraordinary, and then you have to define that. You have to get clear on what greatness means. And this is where most people fall short. They don't start with the very first step. It's simple, it's almost ridiculously simple, and yet almost nobody does it. And that's why only 1 to 3% of people have the kind of life that we all dream about having. You know, healthy, fit life, lots of money, traveling, going around the world, having great relationships. You know, how many people do you know are wealthy, happy, healthy, have great relationships, and are living a life of adventure? 1%, 3% maybe of the population. You want to be one of those people. So while we're doing this and getting clarity, let me help you define success just a little bit, get some clarity on success. Success is living a life by your terms. Success is having a life where you have more money than you need. It doesn't have to be wealthy. You don't have to go out and be a millionaire, billionaire, or whatever. You know, we're not creating Bill Gates here, unless, of course, that's what you want. But it's just about having enough money to have a comfortable, healthy life in terms of finances. What does it mean for fitness? You know, it's having a healthy, fit life so you're not struggling just to walk up a flight of stairs. You don't have to be lean and cut and have a six-pack like I do, but it's having a healthy, fit life so you're active and it's easy to get around. Relationships, having a healthy, robust, abundant relationship in the sense that you're happy and you're loving to each other. And for what that means for you or the next person or somebody else can be very different. But what is it for you? And then, of course, having a life of meaning. You know, why are you here on this little blue and green globe circling around the sun? You know, why are you here? What's the purpose of your life? So success is having meaning and purpose. What it is for you is very different than other people. You know, it could be out saving the whales or teaching students. It could be being a financial expert. It could be a health and fitness instructor. It could be a yoga instructor. It could be an artist. You know, what is it that gives you meaning? Maybe it's being involved with the church and reaching a higher level of spiritual consciousness. You know, what is it for you? It doesn't matter what it is for me or your family or your friends or anyone else in the world. What is it for you? You know, so we got to get clear on all of these things, and we're going to be working through this process as we go along. So start now simply with defining, what do you want? What are you expecting to get out of it in terms of time mastery, in terms of transforming and recalibrating your mind for success in terms of time? Because more success in time will most likely, almost definitely, mean more success in finances and everything else in life, as we talked about, cascading effect. So let's wrap this up. The first part is to choose greatness. And the second part is to get clarity on that greatness. Choose to be great. Choose to be healthy. Choose to be wealthy. Choose to have great relationships. Choose to be at a higher level of spiritual consciousness.